Hello, festival goers of the internet. It's been a minute since I've said that, but hello, welcome back. We're here, and in today's video, we are just talking about me and my life and my mentality, where we're at, giving you guys a little post-festival season update. Fucking did it, right? We made it through daylight savings, festival, depression. The depression season is over. Fucking sun is out, weather's nice. Things are looking up. Things are definitely looking up for me. The fact that I'm even making this video is a sign that, like, we are in a good place. I've been finally getting back on social media slightly. I really wanted to get on in front of the camera. This is my second time trying to do this. The last video is just so raw. Now that I've spoken about it, I'm going to try and do it again and really just clump it all together into one video. I'm just going to talk and try and get the key points out. So the key points in this video are basically talking about my mentality and my priorities and how they've shifted and how I basically kind of, like, I guess you could kind of say, like, grown up a little bit. I'm not chasing every festival and I'm not chasing every show. And the other thing that's weird is, like, not only are we, like, financially and just, like, in the, like, adult world, like, being different, but just, like as a content creator too, dude, like, I don't really want that title anymore, because when you have that title, you are supposed to, like, be something and do something. And, like, I was that back in, like, my prime of, like, posting every day and, like, you know, Instagram Reels bonuses and, like, you know, 10,000 fucking views on average. And, like, I'm just not doing that anymore because a lot of that stuff kind of stopped and the work just was not worth the reward. I really needed to focus on making money, and it was not doing that for me. At one point it was, right? When I was making a couple $100 a month off YouTube, a couple hundred bucks a month extra off Instagram just for posting my content regularly. It was like the work was worth the reward, right? Being consistent. But now that I'm being consistent just for, like, the algorithm and, like, for my followers, like, I don't want to say, like, I disrespect y'all, I don't care about y'all, but there are more important things in the world than Instagram followers and engagement and instant gratification. I let it go, right? Like, I stopped caring about my followers. I stopped caring about the algorithm. I post when I want to post. I post when I have content. I post for me and, like, you know, what I think, and, like, for you guys in a sense, right? If I have something that's worth sharing, if I have something I want you guys to know, you know, I'm not with the whole trending audio and all that shit anymore. Like, nah, that is not me. That was me when I was making money and when I had like, when I thought there was, like, a future in that, and I really don't think that there is anymore now that I've seen what it takes and just, like, how the growth, like, right, the growth was kind of fast at one point when I was getting 20 million views on a video, right, and getting 100 followers a day, right, like, and just constantly seeing my shit grow. But now it was on a stagnant, like, you know, whatever, just mellow line, and now it's slowly going down. I started seeing that, like, my videos were they started performing, like, mediocrely, and I was really seeing a drop in my views and subscribers and my revenue as well, because I'm not posting as often, because people, I'm not this like, this person people think I am, right? People think that I'm, like, a fucking page or this, like, content creator who is always talking about festivals and, you know, always going to festivals. And, like, when you think about it, bro, I really don't go to that many festivals. I go to a lot, but I go to a lot of the same ones, right? Because those ones are affordable, they're close, a lot of the time they're free. You know, I just don't have the money. I'm not fucking, you know, I talked about that in my last video, dude. Like, I'm not driving a fancy car. I'm not living in a fancy crib. You know, I don't have a lot of money. You know, I don't live a lot. Where's my chain? You know, where's my bling? You know, like, I don't have any of that. Look at my fucking chair. Look at my desk, bro. It's fucking broken. Fuck. You know, like, look at my chair. I've had the same fucking chair for 5 years in this fucking same room. You know what I'm saying? Like, and, like, all that shit, thinking about it, it's like, bro, something's got to give here. I live in my parents' crib. I don't drive a nice car. I got a dead-end job, right? And all that shit, you know, being a cliche and, you know, being a 30-year-old YouTuber lives at home with his parents, I was getting tired of that. And, like, as I was approaching 30, I really wanted to, like, have more to show for myself than just a YouTube channel that was, like, at this point, struggling. What do you have to show for yourself in the real world versus EDM? I think about that because that was something that I thought about, and when I realized, I was like, all I have to show for myself is a YouTube channel that's not making me a lot of money. It might make me, like, you know, look cool and I have this, like, you know, all these followers and all these numbers and, like, people know me when I stand out and I wear my merch, but, like, at the end of the day, when I come home and I'm not living that festival world, when I'm not living in that festival bubble and I'm back in the real world, no one's calling me festival for so people are not stopping me on the street, right? Like, I have all these cool stories, all this cool video. I can make it look cool, but right now it's not that cool, right? Like, I haven't had a media application, or I haven't done media for anybody in so long. No one's really hitting me up for, like, anything cool, or, you know, like, inviting me to shoot a festival or document, or, like, you know, media. Like, there is none of that, right? Like, I bought my first festival ticket in the first, I can't even tell you how long, right? 5 years probably. I bought my first festival ticket to Bonnaroo. We're going to Bonnaroo 2025. Brand new news. No one knows that. That's been under wraps. But I'm going to be doing a lineup review following this video. But again, I wanted to get my thoughts out there. Really just share my mentality right now. And really the mentality is save money, stack your bread, so that we can move out. And, you know, we're thinking about the future now, right? Like, for so long we were consumed about the, like, when's the next show, when's the next festival, when's the next set, you know, so that we had content and things to do, right? We're always like, you know, I was always at this computer, at this desk, being productive on my days off. And see, the thing is, like, you know, being productive to most people is like doing their laundry, cleaning their room, you know, whatever, washing their car. As a content creator, our being productive is getting Instagram posts ready, getting videos prepared, editing videos. You know, there's a whole like skew of things that go into it, and it's not like, you know, you can clean your room in an hour, but I can't make a video in an hour. But at the end of the day, that was not really being productive. That was keeping me occupied. It was fun, right? Like, it was fun work, but it was not actually being productive, because it never actually did anything for me, really, right? Like, it made me money, it made me feel good, like I did something. But now that I had been waking up at 8 a.m. every other morning before work and doing Instacart for 4 hours before work and 2 hours after work in between my 8-hour work shift, and I had been making money around the clock and putting that money into stocks, investments, a fund to move out, a fund for personal, just like fun, and my savings account. Like, I have money diversified. I have a fucking CD, a certificate of deposit that's just got a fucking 5% rate of interest, just getting my money, make money, right? I learned about my finances. I learned about how we're going to move out, if we're going to buy, if we're going to rent. I went through all of this shit when I wasn't consumed with when's the next show, when's the next post, when's the next idea. Like, you know, I was focused on making money, earning money, investing money, and you can't, if you don't have money to invest, how are you going to invest it? And that was my thing. I was like, I'm barely making enough to get by. How am I going to afford rent when it comes time to pay rent? So I started thinking, like, yo, I cannot be a struggling YouTuber working at a grocery store, driving a piece of shit car. I need more. Something's got to give. And so like I said, I stopped caring about social media. I stopped caring about YouTube in a sense. And, like, you know, again, I don't want to say I stopped caring, but like the invisible pressure that we talk about in a prior video. But there's this pressure that exists on, you know, any kind of artist nowadays that is trying to like make it. You know, you have to have a social media presence and post every day and have a lot of followers and, you know, have media and pictures and logos and all this kind of shit. And it's like, it's just a lot, and it's overwhelming, and it's like this pressure to post every day doesn't exist. You know, it only exists because society tells us it exists. I let it go, right? And I super let it go. I stopped caring about the followers, the posting, the consistency, like, really just went ghost. And I told myself what I was gonna do and didn't tell anybody else. The only person that really knew was Bree. And again, I was hardcore invested in my finances, and really kind of caused this, right? Outside of being a cliche and the cost of going out and the invisible pressure, all these things I speak about in a previous video, you know, the show is not hitting and the lack of friends and our friends outgrowing it and oversaturating ourselves. It was really going out to the shows and like them, I mean, pretty much everything I just said. The shows were not hitting because our friends were not there. And, you know, we're in this new generation of ravers who are 18, 19, 20 years old, and our views don't align, right? They're all chasing the next show, the next after party, the next set, the next whatever. I'm not chasing that. I'm thinking about the next way I can level up my life. I'm really focused on my adult life and my priorities and making sure that in the next 10 years, I'm not doing this and like struggling and thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do? I had to take a step back from the content creation and the YouTube shit and like the industry because it wasn't making me money. And it was all fun and games pretty much. Like, it stopped being fun, and it was just like, you know, work that I'm like, oh, if I keep posting, I'll keep, you know, staying relevant. But I was talking about the same shit. I don't know, like I was forcing it, and I was just really trying to like really just keep going shit for free. But because I wasn't posting every day and like I was losing followers, I don't have much to show for myself, and I'm not as attractive as I was 2 years ago when I had 10,000 views per video and I was posting once a day and I had everything was going up. Like I said, now everything was kind of stagnant. Now it's going down, and like that's because I took a step back and I stopped putting as much energy and time into it. Just like anything else, what you put is what you get out. I stopped putting in as much time. I stopped getting as much results. But outside of EDM, like, what do you have to show for yourself outside of EDM? That question, right? I have not that I have much more to show for myself, but I have been doing more, right? And I can show you my stock account. I'm gonna keep like bragging about that because like I never thought that somebody like me would be investing in stocks, but it was an idea, and I was like, oh, maybe I can do it, and I can fucking do it. It took me 3 days of YouTube fucking rabbit holes to figure it out, and in that rabbit hole, we're learning about stocks, investing, buying, renting, real estate, being on your own, and leasing, and amortization, and loans, and mortgages, and all this fucking adult shit. Where it's like, holy fuck, this is a little bit overwhelming, Brian. Like, what are you talking about? You know, I had to have that epiphany of like, you can't keep doing the same shit. Something's got to give. You got to do something different. And what really like lit the fire under my ass was seeing a post that said, some of y'all are going to be 40 years old and realize all you did was impress the internet. And I was literally me, except I was 30, right? Like I had all this cool stuff to show for myself, but I don't know, like the definition of cool is different now, right? What was cool when I was 20 is not cool when I'm 30, right? What's cool when I'm 30 is having my own crib, you know what I'm saying? And being on my own and like, you know, like really building a life and a foundation with Bree together on our own, not in our sharing both of our parents' houses, right? When I was 20, what was cool is like going to Lost Lands for free, you know, on media. It's still fucking cool, but like, how am I gonna do more for myself? Because the real world is what really matters, right? Social media is not a real place. And when I stopped putting so much time and effort into that, I started seeing better results in my life. I'm just gonna keep doing that, right? Like I don't want to say I'm done with like the YouTube shit, but I want to do it differently, man. Like I have so much less to lose now because I'm so much less invested, like, and trying to, like, I'm not trying to go to every festival for free. I realize that those days are kind of over. You know, that's okay. And now my mentality is if I can't spend it, I'm not gonna send it, right? That's why I almost didn't go to Lost Lands 2023. Granted, I got guest listed, but I swallowed that pill that if I can't afford it, I'm not gonna go. And I kept that mentality pretty much going into 2024 and now 2025. And again, all this mentality is mostly 2024 energy. Despite it being 2025, this is when I was able to get it all out there. And like now, I got no fucking debt. I got no, like, you know, I'm up to date with my bills. I'm just in a much better place now that I've taken a step out of EDM, and it feels good. It was so weird because EDM consumed me for so long, right? And the thing about EDM that I used to love, and I mean, I still do love it, there's always so much music every fucking day. It's always like just rapidly coming out. Hundreds of songs a day, quality, like undiscovered, your fucking SoundCloud feed, just like the SoundCloud daily mix, whatever, bro. You can find new music so easily. And EDM, because of all the music that is always evolving, like every time you make a set, it's always got to be new, always got to be fresh. There's like so much less appreciation for the oldies and the classics and like the, you know, the timeless hits in a sense. Like it just made me think like old music is bad music, right? And I was like, bro, old music is the fucking shit, bro. Old music is so much better than new music in my opinion, and outside of EDM, right? I don't know, it was like the same way I discovered EDM when I had that shit for hip hop again. I was like, oh my god, like look at all this fucking new music that I like forgot about, and it's like, oh man, like, this is awesome. And like I really was like, bro, fuck like this, like, oh, if you're into EDM, you can listen to EDM, you gotta only eat, sleep, breathe EDM. Like, nah, bro, fuck all that shit, bro. And that's one of the things I am tired of, and like I really realized that I do not like. But like again, it's just like the people that I was around, it's like all they do, again, not the people I'm around, but when I was out at these shows with my homies that, again, I don't even really know. And that was the other thing that, like, bro, I'm done like trying to just like talk about, like, justify going out. When you look at it on paper, it's not fucking fun, right? Like, you're spending all this money. It's not what it used to be. We don't really know anybody. Like, we're just like always looking like, yo, what can we do, like, when there's any downtime? It has to be fucking crazy start to finish, and if the crowd isn't crazy, the show isn't crazy, as crazy as the artist is, right? Like, and it's just, you know, nowadays it's not Webster Hall and Sunnyvale, it's fucking the Meadows and the Monarch, right? Like, just, I don't know, those venues don't have the same magic that those underground venues did back in the day in the basement. And like I said, at Sunnyvale and Slake, you wouldn't even know these venues. These are very underground, like, you had to be there kind of shit in New York City. And some of the fucking city heads probably don't even know what I'm talking about because it's the new generation. I'm the old generation, bro. I'm not even gonna lie, you know? So yeah, it was like just the mix of like the show's not hitting and, like, you know, not being with our friends and then not really being fun and then like, you know, I wasn't even like posting the content I was like filming, or I was going out and filming, but I wasn't even posting it. It wasn't even worth posting. Like, it was just not, it didn't have its magic. There was no story. It was just a bunch of clips. And I'm just like, bro, why am I even gonna spend time to edit this to get 400, 500 views, maybe 1,000 if I'm lucky? I'm almost kind of like, really just not eat, sleeping, and breathing EDM anymore. You know, I really like expanded my palette a little bit. I've dipped in back into hip hop, and that's why I'm stoked to go to Bonnaroo this year, because there's so much diversity, and I'm really excited to explore other genres and other artists and just have a different experience. So at the end of the day, I can't keep putting in the same kind of work I was putting in. I just can't keep affording to go out the way I was, but I do want to continue to educate and like share knowledge and experience and wisdom with the younger generations to kind of mold them and show them the way, because like I said, there was nobody really for me when I was doing it. It's just such a different time now, because like social media is so flooded, and it seems like everybody's a digital creator or a content creator in their fucking bio, you know? What is a content creator? You know what I'm saying? Like what gives you that title? And that's the title that I want to leave behind, that invisible pressure, the obligation, the need to post every day and be consistent and always be creative. Like, nah, I always want to be making money. And I always said, if I keep doing it, like something will give, somebody will pick me up, I will join a team, I will, you know, somebody will want to pick me up and use my creative ability for something, and nobody has. So like now it's on me, right? Like I got to figure it out. I got to put in the work, and that's why I did the time, I did the research and took some time to step away, go down my rabbit holes, find the research, get the answers, figure it out, set a plan, and act on it. And that's what we're in the process of doing now. Yeah, the time I spent preparing and making content is not occupied by making money. A lot of what I do is just the Instacart, because it's the easiest and fastest like cash out. I've been able to make pretty good money, and when I need it, I can get it quick, on the spot. Instacart pays the bills, ShopRite pays me, right? And all my funds, all my little tubes, like I said. You know, I was trying to justify that what I was doing in the past, you know, the creating, the posting, the organizing, the editing, the organizing my library, the music downloading, all that shit. I tried to argue and justify that it was productive, but it really was not. It was not making me money. In a sense it was, but now that money is pocket change. The money that I'm making from Instacart, I can make in one day, and that would take me a month to make in YouTube, right? So it's like, it just doesn't make sense. I could put my money, my effort elsewhere and do better for myself, right? As it's not anything like lavish, it's not anything that's to brag about, but I am doing better for myself, and that's something to brag about, you know? It's like I don't want to stop or quit. It's just right now, it's just doesn't feel right. It's not making sense, and there are better things for me to do with my time and just money, in a sense. And I'll be a little bit like active here and there on Instagram, maybe active on here once in a while, but this is like my I don't want to say like my last hoorah, but like this is the last big update you're gonna get from me. And then I'm gonna do the Bonnaroo review, we'll talk about that, and then like we're doing Big Dub this year, and that is really kind of it. It's not worth the money, man. It's too costly. It's not as fun. There's no purpose or point, it seems like, with the current mindset of trying to move out, right? And it's like all these things we were doing was just pushing me back. When there was views and money, there was a purpose, but now it seems like there's no purpose to make content, which means there's no purpose to go out, which means there's no purpose for me, in a sense, right? Like I was having an identity crisis, and I was like, bro, what do I do? I'm not posting content, I'm not going to shows because I don't have, it's a crazy snowball effect. I can't even think of it. It's like, I don't want to spend money to go to shows or to go out, so I'm not filming content, and because I'm not filming content, I'm not posting content, and because I'm not posting content, I'm not getting views or followers, and because I'm not getting views or followers, I'm not seeing any money or revenue or anything, any instant gratification. So I feel like I'm declining and slacking, and then I get in my head, like, why am I gonna try and do this when I know the result is just gonna be that cycle again, I was also getting really tired of like the temporary and just like the artificial friendships that like I was calling like, oh, let's go to the show, all the homies are gonna be there, and then all the homies are people that I'm just like, yo, it's good, how you been? Oh, good, oh, cool, man, I'll see you around, like, be good. And then like that's it. I don't know your last name, I don't know anybody in your family, I don't know where you live, I don't know how you got here, I don't know who you're friends with, I barely even know your name. That's a homie? That's not a homie, bro. And so when I had that realization, I was just like, damn, bro, we're going out with a bunch of strangers. We've been moshing with a bunch of strangers the last fucking couple months. We're like, I don't know these people. Obviously the people I know. It's not like I don't know anybody, but it's just like, it's not what it used to be. I used to fucking be in the crowd and know everybody on a first name basis and know something about you. Because we had a connection, we had a conversation, we had some kind of interaction, whether we carpooled or we went somewhere together, we went to an actor together, went to someone's crib together, went to pirate together, we did something together. Because I don't be doing shit, I don't be connecting as much. And that's my fault, that's my prerogative, that's what it is, I think the main point that I'm trying to convey is if you can't spend it, don't send it. Don't let EDM consume you. There are more important things to life than EDM and chasing the next festival and chasing the next show and posting the next clip. You're right. Like if you got it like that, do it like that. Right now, I don't got it like that, so I'm not doing it like that. And that's just kind of what it is. You know, the new focus is to make money, save money, invest money, move out, and get the future focused and locked in and get the foundation squared away, and not the next show, the next post, the next vlog, the next idea. I think this is it. I think I finally have spoken about it. You know, I went through that identity crisis of like, who am I? Last year it was, what do you have to show for yourself outside of EDM? This year it's, who are you without EDM? Do you have anything cool to show for yourself outside of EDM? Not even like outside of EDM. Like if you didn't have EDM, what would you be doing? Right? That when I was like, holy fuck, I'd probably just be working my life away, right? And skateboarding and collecting shoes. And that's what I've been doing, which again, not a healthy habit for my spending. And I had to cut that because I was like, bro, I'm just replacing one with something else. I am really not saving money. And I had like I had a moment. I had a cutoff, a kick in the ass, and now I'm on a fucking great run. I'm on such a great run, I don't even want to treat myself. I want to keep myself dialed in and like focused and keep my growth steady and not just dip in because I have it, right? So many people fuck up their finances in their future because they start making a little bit of money. They start like living like that to that kind of wage, right? Like, nah, keep your wages down here, but your money up here. Your cost of living is down here, but your income is up here, right? Like you don't need fancy cars, fancy clothes, fancy jewelry. You know what I'm saying? Get money, look broke. I might look broke. I might look like I'm a fucking fuck up, whatever, cliche, poser, whatever the fucking negativity, but I got money in the bank. Probably more than you. No, I'm capping. That's crazy. Some people got it fucking made. They got a house, kids, cars, and they fucking do this shit. Fucking and buy all their tickets, bro. Like I said, I haven't bought a ticket in 5 years, and I can still barely afford this shit. Remember, missing out on temporary funds to build permanent stability is not a loss. Lock in, and do not be 40 and realize all you do is impress the internet. There are better things to do. There are more people to impress, and you know, the EDM is such a small pool of fish. What you think is cool is like childish to somebody else, and never to each their own, right? But what I thought was cool 10 years ago is not cool now to me. And like I said, what is cool is having money, having a future set, having your own place, having things to show for yourself, assets. Right now I'm trying to build those, grow those. Now that I have this mentality set in place, it's time to act on them. I think I'm doing pretty good with all of the, you know, letting go of the invisible pressure, understanding the cost of going out, understanding my finances, swallowing the pill. If you can't spend it, don't send it. Not letting EDM consume my life. There's more out there to EDM, music-wise. There's no such thing as bad music. Yeah. Just not forcing it. Doing me. And I'm doing better for myself with what I've been doing and doing less content creation, less social media. I thought that was going to be my future at one point. Now I don't think that's the case anymore, you know? Like I said, things change, we grow, we evolve. Priorities shift, and, you know, what I thought was, those priorities in 2023 are different now in 2025, 2024. And, yeah, that's really all I can say. I feel like I've matured, I've grown. And to kind of, like, recap on 2025, and just, like, my mentality and thoughts, we're saving regularly. We're adding to our funds daily. We have different funds. We have the move out fund. We have the fun fund. We have the personal fund. We have the savings fund. And we have the investment fund. So we have all these little different, tubes that we put our money into, and that are, growing, that have a purpose, that have a goal, Like I said about tickets to Bonnaroo, which hopefully brings new experiences, new vlogs, new content. But at the end of the day, I'm really not letting... I'm kind of giving up the term content creator, and I'm not really caring about social media presence as much, and views and engagement and numbers and content and posts. And I'm really just using my money as a tool, not the goal. The goal is freedom, right? Financial freedom. Money is the tool to get there. So, it's less vlogs, less tips, more enjoying, more discussions. Well, I could do these videos all day. I want to really try and think about doing live streams and do like some Q&As and get people, you can call in and live streams you can request to join, and we'll talk, ask questions, whatever. Like I said, I'm not really going anywhere. You're still going to see me. I'm still going to be posting, still be active, still I'm not just... I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I'm just Brian. You know, I'm just here doing my thing. Yeah, so I guess I'm signing off. This is a really bad ending, but I feel like I've been talking for too long. So we'll try again. Maybe.